This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(8:45). This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news, edited by Dhanushka Madhawala and read by Indrani Senanayake. The headlines. Ambulances allowed to use expressways free of charge. Another 552 persons have tested positive for COVID-19 today. Health authorities say it is essential to get the booster dose to travel during the festive season. Doctors say that the Omicron variant of the coronavirus poses little impact on children. Minister Duminda Dissanayake says that the government aims to increase the use of regenerative power sources up to 60% by the year 2023. Registration of university students for the 2020-2021 academic year has been extended up to the 16th of next month. In foreign news, COVID, first UK death recorded with Omicron variant. In sports news, Mahela Jayawardena appointed as a consultant coach. Chief Government Whip and Highways Minister Johnston Fernando today said that all ambulances, whether they belong to the state or private hospitals, will be permitted to use the expressways free of charge with immediate effect. A toll was levied from every ambulance using the expressways, but following the COVID-19 outbreak, they were exempt from paying the toll from the 20th of May until further notice. Today, it was decided to declare that all ambulances could use the expressways without paying any fee, the minister said. The Director General of Health Services has confirmed another 27 coronavirus-related deaths for December the 12th. Pushing the country's death toll due to the virus to 14,641. The deaths confirmed today included one person below the age of 30 years, while 13 are between the ages of 30 to 59. The remaining 13 victims are in the age group of 60 years and above. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry reports that another 552 persons have tested positive for COVID-19 today, increasing the tally of confirmed cases registered in the country to 573,454. 13,380 infected patients are currently being treated across the island, while total recoveries have risen to 545,433. Doctors say that the Omicron variant of the coronavirus poses little impact on children. Consultant pediatrician Dr. Shaman Rajendrit said that the research done in foreign countries have proved so far that there is no big impact on children from the Omicron variant. The consultant pediatrician requests all children to follow the health guidelines at schools to prevent any spread of the virus. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A range of unmatched benefits with People's Credit Cards from People's Bank.
We continue with local news. Minister Duminda Dissanayake says that the government aims to increase the use of regenerative power sources up to 60% by the year 2023. The minister said that the government hopes to popularize electric vehicles in the country. He added that it is necessary to set up a new mechanism to do so. The government has set up a subcommittee under the chairmanship of the minister to look into the solutions pertaining to this matter. Director General of the Ministry of Manpower and Employment, Anusha Gokula, says that many people don't have the proper idea of the available vacancies, the type of jobs and how to reach those opportunities. The DG says that professional guidance on job-related issues is very important. She made these remarks while addressing a discussion program held at the Ministry of Mass Media today. The United Postal Union says 23 postal unions have decided to commence a token strike from 4 p.m. today to midnight tomorrow over several issues. Union convener Chintaka Bandara said that the strike will be launched over issues which were affecting the employees and the institution of the Postal Department. He said a discussion is to be held today with the Mass Media Ministry Secretary regarding their demands. He said that the postal workers will go on a continuous strike if the authorities do not take appropriate action to address their demands. Next, we take a look at the main news story.
A range of unmatched benefits with People's Credit Cards from People's Bank. Discounts up to 60% and interest-free installment plans from selected merchants.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Health authorities say it is essential to get the booster dose to travel during the festive season. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasuman pointed out that religious and entertainment activities cannot be stopped only by regulations. He said the booster dose is given with the approval of the World Health Organization. Therefore, he requests the public to get the booster dose without being misled by rumors. That was the main news story. Watchlight is up next.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Registrations of university students for 2020-2021 academic years have been extended up to the 16th of next month. The University Grants Commission says that the registration of students is now conducted online. It added 43,000 students will be recruited to 17 universities on the basis of the results of the 2020 Advanced Level Examination. The Commission also said that 38,000 applications have already been received for the new academic year registrations. That came to you in Watchlight. A bulletin of world news will follow.
Coming up, World News.
The headlines. At least one person in the UK has died with the Omicron variant. Israeli Prime Minister Bennett in first trip to UAE as Iran threat looms. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa being treated for COVID. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson said at least one person in the UK has died with the Omicron coronavirus variant. The Prime Minister has said that the new variant was also resulting in hospital admissions, and the best thing people could do was to get their booster jab. Visiting a vaccination clinic in London, he said people should set aside the idea Omicron was a milder variant. On Sunday, the PM set a new target for all adults in England to be offered a booster by the end of this month. On Monday, Mr. Johnson said people needed to recognise the sheer pace at which Omicron accelerates through the population. Naftali Bennett has become the first Israeli leader to visit the United Arab Emirates as he attempts to deepen ties at a time of rising tensions over Iran. Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, the UAE's de facto leader, held talks with Mr. Bennett a year after their countries normalized relations. Israel's Prime Minister said he wanted to boost economic and commercial ties. He was also expected to urge the UAE to take a tougher stance in response to Iran's expanding nuclear program. The UAE shares Israel's concerns about the potential threat from a nuclear-armed Iran. But it is also trying to establish better relations with Tehran. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa is receiving treatment after testing positive for COVID-19, his office says. In a statement, it says the 69-year-old had mild symptoms and is isolating in Cape Town. South Africa has seen a surge of infections since the new Omicron variant was first detected in November. Despite Omicron being more transmissible than previous strains, including Delta, risks of severe disease and death is low, a study has found. South Africa's presidency says Mr. Ramaphosa has tested positive on Sunday and has already delegated all responsibilities to Deputy President David Mambuza for the next week. 2 people are feared to have died after 2 cargo ships collided in the Baltic Sea off the Swedish coast early today, causing one to overturn. Prosecutors have begun an inquiry into alleged gross negligence at sea involving the UK-flagged Scott carrier. The Coast Guard was also investigating suspected drunkenness on board. Rescue boats and helicopters have so far failed to locate the pair who were on board the capsized boat. The Danish-registered Karin Hodget, a spokesman for the Swedish Maritime Administration, said screams had been heard from the water after the collision in the early hours of today. To end this bulletin of world news, the headlines again. Israeli Prime Minister Bennett in first trip to UAE as Iran threat looms. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa being tested for COVID. UK ship investigated after Danish boat capsizes. That ends this bulletin of world news. Development news follows.
Development news is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority says that currently tourist arrivals have increased by 10% more than the first quarter of the year. Many programs have been implemented for the promotion of the tourism industry. They added 22 projects costing billions of rupees to implement the Kuchiveli, Kalpitia and Bentota tourism zones. All these projects are to be completed during the next 2 years. Transport facilities between Alla and Yala tourism areas will be developed. 5,500 new tourist destinations have also been identified, and steps will be taken to promote tourism in those areas as well. The authority also stated that they are expecting 50,000 tourist arrivals in the country by the end of this month. That was development news. A look at sports news next.
Development news was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Moving on with sports news.
Sri Lanka Cricket announced that former Sri Lanka captain Mahela Jayawardene has been appointed as a consultant coach for the national teams effective 1st January 2022. Mahela Jayawardene, in his new role, which is effective for a period of 1 year, will be in charge of the overall cricketing element of the national teams and will provide invaluable strategic support for the players and management teams at the High Performance Centre. Despite the new appointment, Jayawardene will continue to perform in his role with the under-19 teams as it prepares for the next year's ICC Under-19 World Cup to be held in the West Indies. That was sports news, development news. A look at business news next.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 Go sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The International Trade Secretary of the UK, Anne-Marie Trevelyan, warned the US and UK could step up retaliatory measures if punitive tariffs of UK steel exports are not lifted soon. She has been in the US for talks with the Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo. On her return, Ms. Trevelyan said, "We have a very frank conversation. I was very clear that the pressures we are under to use countervailing measures, if we can't solve the problems, are becoming more acute." She said Ms. Anne-Marie had invited Ms. Raimondo to London for further talks on the issue in January. But by then, UK companies will be at a competitive disadvantage compared to companies based in the EU. That was Business News. Economic News follows.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 Go sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic News. The central bank has issued a statement on alternative measures to utilize foreign currency. Accordingly, $1 can be changed for 210 rupees from any bank. They can also credit those to a personal foreign currency account or to a special deposit account. The central bank said those can be invested in Sri Lanka development bonds as well. That was Economic News. Finally, a look at the weather report.
The weather report.
The northeast monsoon is gradually establishing over the island. Showers will occur at times in the eastern, northern, north-central and Uva provinces and in the Hambantota and Matale districts. Fairly heavy falls above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in these areas. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamu and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts during the evening or at night. Fairly heavy falls above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in these areas. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Galle and Matara districts during the morning. That was the weather report. To end tonight's news broadcast, we take a look at the headlines again. Ambulances allowed to use expressways free of charge. Another 552 persons have tested positive for COVID-19 today. Health authorities say it is essential to get the booster dose to travel during the festive season. Doctors say that the Omicron variant of the coronavirus poses little impact on children. Minister Duminda Dissanayake says that the government aims to increase the use of regenerative power sources up to 60% by the year 2023. Registrations of university students for the 2020-2021 academic year has been extended up to the 16th of this month. In foreign news, COVID. First UK death recorded with Omicron variant. And in sports news, Mahela Jayawardena appointed as consultant coach. That ends tonight's news broadcast.